Alright, hi everybody. Today we're going to go through a speed run through a computer engineering degree. Now this is mainly meant for entertainment purposes, but there is some definite educational insight in here. So if you will come out learning something. If you are going into college, this is definitely for you. Even if you're going into high school or you're in the middle of your high school career, this is definitely for you. Again, this is mainly meant for entertainment, but a lot of the things I will be discussing here are important to keep in mind and will give you a nice overview of the computer engineering degree. This also applies very well to computer science. So that being said, let's go into the speed run. The way this is going to work, I'm going to go through each stage of, I guess, college, and also go through the prices. That way, we're trying to, again, we're here for efficiency. We're here to finish college as quick as possible with a computer engineering degree. And while we're at it, if we can, we're going to try and save a lot of money, too. Because that's also a big benefit of graduating early. So with that being said, the first thing you need to do is actually in high school. So you need to come into college with the right AP classes. How do you know what are the right AP classes? Very simple. You can just look up, well, I go to UCR, so this video will be based on here, but no matter what college you go to, this information should be readily available on their websites. So, with that being said, we have AP IB credit here. Now, I was in the IB program in high school. However, I also took AP classes and AP exams. IB here, unfortunately, although it is extremely rigorous, I know firsthand, absolutely, it's not as valuable to a lot of American colleges. So, you're not going to want to waste time with IB here. Again, this is the speed run. You should, it's often recommended to enjoy college and grow from it. But in this specific scenario, we're not about that right now. We're here to speedrun, okay? I'm not advising this for anyone in particular, but if you want to speedrun, this is the way to do it. So, no IB, which is very valuable in my opinion, but colleges don't see it that way, and that's all right. So we're going to focus a lot on AP here. And now you're going to focus on stuff like Humanities B, CS10. This is very important. This is a CS class you're going to need for your major. So I have a list here of everything you're going to need and what they satisfy. Now, there is breadth requirements. Breadth requirements is just your general ed. And here is what you need for engineering. So this goes for computer science just as equally. You're going to need 2 English, and we'll get into this third one later here, but you're going to need 2 English classes, and check it out, AP English Language or Literature. If you get a 4 or 5, you cover both. All right, so that covers 2 classes for 1 AP exam. We need 3 humanities, 3 social sciences. We need 1 ethnicity and 2 upper division. Now, this looks like 9 classes. However, it's actually 6 in disguise. You can do Humanities A, Humanities B, Humanities C, SSA, SSB, SSC, but Hum B and SSC are very, very special because they offer an ethnicity class. So, classes within SSC and Hum B in particular have quite a few ethnicity requirements too. So if you take a Hum B that also satisfies ethnicity, bam, that's just 1 class for knocking out 2 requirements. So you don't need to take an extra ethnicity or anything like that. In addition, you can also take upper division. So any 2 of, it can be Hum A, Hum C, it doesn't matter. They can also be, if they're upper division, for those of you that don't know, basically means that you have to be a junior or senior to take it. It's usually not like in the beginning of your major that you take this. So, with that being said, you need 2 upper divisions, and you're obviously going to want to not just do all lower divisions for these 6, and then, I need 2 upper division. No, we're going to try and double dip as much as we can. In fact, we can triple dip. So, the way I chose the AP classes here, you come into classes, you come into college with 11 classes down. However, you could do 13 and get all your GE done. However, the problem with that is that now you still have to take an ethnicity and upper division. You still have to do that. And they don't offer that in AP. So, for efficiency, instead of wasting an extra $200 in high school for classes that you still need to take anyway, the best thing to do is save your Hum B and your SSC for being the 2 upper division general ed and one of them being ethnicity. So one of them could triple dip and the other one double dips. So keep that in mind. Also, we need natural sciences. Biology, you're going to need, and AP Bio totally satisfies that, at least at UCR. Unfortunately, for the physics, we're not going to use AP for this. We can't. It's not equivalent. Your college may differ, but for this, it does not. So you're going to have to take that at at the college level. Now, physics, there are 3 physics classes you're going to take for the computer engineering and computer science major. So instead of just taking some other physical science, like chemistry is allowed, instead of taking that, you would want to take the physics. Although chemistry is required for computer engineers, and I think also for computer science, but to be on the safe side here, you don't want to take some physical science that you don't need, and like, oh, you also need physics. You want to double dip as much as you can, and that's also the most common path that people take. Okay, so that being said, the computer engineer... I'm surprised I actually don't have this looked up. Computer engineer course plan, UCR. Alright, we're going to do this. So you can just simply look that up for whatever college you're going to. Computer science works just as well. So here, and we're going to go to computer engineering. And bam, this is the course plan. These are all the classes you need. Very simple. Alright, and this is also kind of like when they recommend you take it. However, this is 4 years, and we're not here for 4 years. We're trying to speed run it. Alright, so what we're going to need, I actually never explained the colors here. The blue highlighted classes are what you're going to take your sophomore year. Okay, so it's only 2 AP classes. It's not too bad, right? You're also going to want to take the green here is going to be your junior year. So AP Comp Sci is a great way. It's a great year to get started in computer science. AP Spanish language. However, this is a little dependent because if you start taking Spanish in high school, like Spanish 1, freshman year, you won't be able to get to AP Spanish until senior year. So this actually kind of starts in middle school. If you get ahead in middle school. However, senior, junior year for that doesn't make too much of a difference for Spanish. But you need to get a 5 to satisfy Humanities C. And if I don't specify what grade you need, what number you need, you can just assume it's a 3. Again, this is for UCR. Your college may differ. AP Calc BC, if you take pre-calc in sophomore year, if you get a good grade, you're allowed to go to AP Calc BC depending on your school policies. And if you get a 4 or 5, you can pass Math 9A, Math 9B, Math 9C, which is just the very basic calc series. If you pass AP Calc BC, it's just what you learn. And right, you need a 4 or 5 there. So that's your junior year. 3 AP classes. I mean, that's not too bad, right? Just 3. And then for your senior year, you would take AP English, language, or lit. I mean, language you could take your junior year. It's most common, but regardless, by your senior year, you would have finished one of the 2. And if you get a 4 or 5, you can skip the first 2 English classes. AP Gov is for Social Science A. AP Biology is for Natural Science A, which is the AP Bio that I discussed earlier. And that's your senior year, only 3 AP classes. Again, not too bad either. And so that's 11 classes down, although it's 9 AP exams. That covers 11 classes in total. And that's already, you need roughly equivalent to 48 classes to graduate with computer engineering. Roughly, don't take that number literally. But I only say that because you're already coming out of high school with almost a full year of college credit. All right. So that being said, each AP exam is $95. So if you take 9, that comes out to $855. Again, this is not with financial aid. So now we're going to change the price to reflect that. All right. 1 year of college credit is roughly $855 with AP. And now you're going to see the big difference with that when I pull up the actual college price. Alrighty. So, now we're done with high school. Woohoo! Graduated. Alright, but we already have 11 classes down. Just a reminder in the description, I did say this. This is not including dual enrollment or concurrent enrollment. It's also at the top right here. Okay. Alright, number 2. Moving on to community college summer. So now you've been accepted to whatever university you want. Okay. And now you're in the summer, not really doing much. And this is before you start your freshman year. So you could take the second CS class that you need. At UCR, it's CS 10B. But basically this goes more into depth about computer science. In terms of programming, this will probably be a C++ or Java course. And also, big thing, AP Computer Science, I'm sure for everybody, it's going to be in Java. That's what it was for me in high school. But when you go to college, a lot of their computer science classes could either be taught in Java or C++. At UCR, the vast majority are in C++. In fact, non-C++ coding classes often reference C++ when explaining concepts and stuff to students. So just be prepared for that. And I was going to say this is a good time to prepare and take C++ in the summer. However, you're going to be taking community college classes, And community colleges do offer Java and or C++. So just keep that in mind. And a lot of the concepts you learn in Java will prepare you to learn at this level, even if it is in a different language like C++. All right, moving on. You're going to be taking the second computer science class you'll need. This is, again, more in-depth of the first one. Physics 48, just the first physics mechanics. And then Math 46, which is differential equations. Actually, this is renamed to Math 45 for this upcoming school year, so I'll just put that. All right, differential equations. So this math class, from my experience, at least at UCR, is not too bad. My brother, he did community college, and he had a completely different experience and did not like DiffEq. So just keep that in mind. I think this one definitely depends on the professor. But you can take all three of these. The normal limit is around 8 units, and this goes to around 11 per semester. Most community colleges I've come across are in the semester system. So that's 11 units in the semester system, which is overloading, so you have to petition for that. All right. So that's 11 units, and that's 14 classes down already. So now we're at 57 quarter units. You need 180 to graduate the minimum. The computer engineering degree requires 189, more or less, again at UCR. So we're already getting close to a third done, which is really cool. However, community college classes, of course, are not free. Each is roughly average $250. So this community college summer is going to cost us $250 times 3, and that's going to be $750 added to $855. So let's update this to $1,605. All right, nice. So we're already pretty deep. Not even stepping once into actual university. Only paying $1,605. And also, let me change the time. This is going to be our little timer on the bottom right. We are now starting our freshman year in college. All right. However, you actually are closer to like the end of sophomore year by now. But this is our first year. Or maybe I should just put first year. I think that's more straightforward. So we're going to do first. Alrighty, great. Now, let's actually move into the first year. So, the fall quarter. Again, some colleges are semester system, some are quarter system. I'm not getting too much into the difference right now. If you don't know the difference, look up a video. But basically, the core system, okay, very simply, core system is 10 weeks, semester system is 15 weeks per term. All right, there's 3 quarters in the core system per year, and semesters, there's 2. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. So in the fall quarter, you're going to be taking 18 units, okay, and that's definitely more than full-time. Most colleges say you need to take 15 units a quarter to graduate within 4 years. But again, this is a speed run, so we're going to do a little bit more, but still be relatively sane. All right, so in the fall, we're going to be taking 18 units. This is going to be your first data structures course, data structures and algorithms. It's not too much. It goes into binary trees, a little bit of graphs, and some sorting algorithms, and a few other things, but that's the gist of it. And this is definitely like the, I guess, continuation of that. So that's why there's CS 10A, 10B, 10C. And we're also taking the next physics. At UCR, this is fluids and mechanics. Or I'm sorry, no, it's not. It's it has to do like with a lot of waves and oscillations and stuff like that. All right, this one is definitely the most diverse physics. It's kind of interesting, but kind of hard. EE20 at UCR, this is just linear algebra, but with electrical engineering focus or an engineering focus on it. It was not a good experience. Actually, this one I believe was rebranded. Well, for now, we'll just leave it as this. And then we also have CS11. This is discrete math. A lot of this math they don't teach in high school. It's not like it's really difficult, but it's definitely a different approach to math. So it's going to be basically intro to set theory, Boolean logic. Nothing too difficult, but being exposed to these proofs for the first time can definitely be overwhelming. But regardless, I chose these classes in a way where it's all manageable. Engineering 1G is just kind of like an intro to engineering. It's a 1-unit class, and it's mainly for participation, but they definitely tell you a lot of good tips about resume building, clubs at UCR, etc. So one thing to keep in mind, in high school, a lot of teachers will not tell you that a lot of STEM classes have a lab component to them that takes up a lot of time throughout your week. That's because a lot of teachers you have in high school are not STEM. You have a lot of history classes, Spanish, foreign language classes, etc. And often the minority of your classes are STEM related. So just be aware of that. And so obviously I don't want to overwhelm you with the labs because those are definitely a huge part of STEM classes. So every computer science class, most of them, generally they will have a lab, some have a discussion. Very few STEM, I don't think any STEM really are just the lecture and that's it. Physics 40B, all physics have a lab here. This does not have a lab. This does not have a lab. So here you only have 2 labs and 2 discussions. This one is just a lecture because it's just a 1 unit, like meet once a week type thing. All right. So it doesn't sound too bad, does it? Alrighty, so now we're going to go into the winter quarter. CS61 is going to basically be like your first like intro to like low-level programming and computer architecture. It'll be very foreign at first, but you'll get the hang of it. Physics 40C is electricity and magnetism, and this one is super crucial because this allows you to take electrical engineering. That is a huge prerequisite. Also, the classes were organized in a way where you meet all the prerequisites before the important classes. And we're trying to get all the prereqs out of the way because those are the most important and valuable classes. Alrighty, so you take electrical engineering, and some classes have a lab as an extra class, like this one here. For CS61, this one also has a lab, but it's like in the class, whereas this one here is a separate class. It's only 1 unit, but it's still a lab, and it's take this concurrently, meaning at the same time. And then you have CS111. This one is your first upper division class at UCR, and I'm sure at a lot of other colleges. Lower division and upper division are marked by upper division being greater than 100 and less than 200, and then lower division being less than 100. So here this is E01A, and 1 is less than 100, so it's lower division. CS111, greater than 100, so it's upper division. And this one is a sequel to CS11, so it's more discrete math. Definitely goes more into detail about that. Here you learn about graph theory and number theory, really cool stuff. About a lot of proofs. Alrighty, here this is the discussion, but you have 3 labs. You have E1LA, Physics 40C, and then CS61. The labs in computer science, for those of you that aren't familiar, it's just a lot of programming assignments. Alrighty, so you have 3 labs here. I've taken 3 labs quite a few times, and it gets manageable. But at first it could be a little daunting, but right now we're going to go with that. Maximum 3 labs, so it still doesn't sound totally insane. Taking 4 classes with 4 labs, that is difficult. So, okay, so spring, we're going to be doing CS100, software construction, CS120A. This is logic design, but builds off a lot of CS61 stuff. So CS61 is the prerequisite. EE1B, sequel to EE1A, also being renamed to EE30A, EE30B, pretty sure. And then CS150. This is your first technical elective. If you're computer science, this is not a technical elective. It's automata theory. If you are a computer engineer, it's a technical elective. I, for one, wanted to have all the knowledge of a computer science student with an electrical engineering component to that. So I took CS150 and all the other computer science required classes, which were offered as technical electives for me. As a computer engineer, you're going to need 6 technical electives. Often you take them at the end. However, we're actually getting close to the end already because we're speedrunning. And one of them is seeing a project, so you have to reserve that. So you really get 5 technical electives. And they give you a list to choose from. And the technical elective, despite the word elective, it's technical, meaning it has to relate all to computer science or electrical engineering. For this speedrun, we're going to do all computer science. Alrighty. With that being said, you have now finished 109 units. So you just need 80 more. That's it. We're already juniors up in here after finishing 1 year at the university. And now, at UCR, if you are in-state, meaning you're from California and you're going to University of California, you get a discount. If you're going from out of state into the University of California, you pay like double the price. So for in-state, this is what we're going to calculate since most UCR students are in-state. And I'm assuming most of you will go to college in your state. This is going to come out to $31,000 a year. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but there are ways to totally mitigate that, and that's exactly what we're going to do in the speed run. So, if you join, obviously, for your freshman year, most of you will be in the dorms, and dorms are very expensive. Paying for the room board is a lot. So, in fact, that's most of the costs per year, but you can mitigate this. In your first year, at UCR, we have an organization called RHA, Residence Halls Association, which I am a part of. and we give benefits to you if you join, if you're an executive member, and for your first year, we don't hire unless we have a position available. It does happen. I actually was hired in the first 3 weeks. I'm sorry, hired is the wrong word, but I was chosen for this position in the first 3 weeks. Luckily, there was one open, and I took it, and I was able to get 50% off room and board. So that being said, now let's get to the price of this first year. Okay, so for room and board, you get 50% off, and you get your own room, which is kind of nice for RHA, not for everybody, like at the other colleges. But you will get some kind of discount if you join a club like or a student org like this. And so you would be paying a total, including tuition. At UCR, they do not pay by unit during fall, winter, and spring, but for summer they do for your classes. So in total, for the first year, it would be $23,552. Nice, you saved about $8,000 from the regular price. Now let's add this to our total. All right, so we're going to be at, instead of 1605, we are now at 25K. I'll just leave it at that. All right. So $25,000. Okay, now I know it still kind of feels like a lot. During the pandemic, it's nice not to worry about that room and board price. So that's what I've really been benefiting from. But for the majority of you watching in the future, yeah, this is not the case at all. So you have to be there. And now we're going to be taking... Oh, I'm sorry. Now I'll put this down into sophomore year or second year. Alrighty, so you are now a junior. Like, you're in the middle of your junior year roughly, but this is your second year. So that's kind of nice. Now, in the summer, you're going to be taking 5 classes. I know 5 classes in the summer sounds like a lot. I'm actually doing that right now. But it is definitely manageable. And don't forget, you have pass, no pass. So you definitely want to use those when applicable. Every college has different policies on that, so to make sure you can just easily look it up. That's what we've been doing throughout here. And so for summer, in your second year, between freshman and between the first and second year, you're going to be taking 21 units here. You're going to be taking CS120B, which is Intro to Embedded Systems. This is a speed run, but I gotta slow down. CS141, this is going to be a sequel, or a closely correlated sequel to CS111. So kind of like, it's actually called Intermediate Data Structures. And it builds off a lot of what you learn in CS111, discrete math, with data structures. CS152, this is compiler design. This one is strongly recommended to be taken right after CS150. It uses a lot of automata theory. It's all about that to build a compiler. And this one, you want to get as soon as you can after CS150, which is why I put CS150 up there. Like right before it. This is required for computer science, but not for computer engineers, but you could take it as a technical elective. CS153, design of operating systems. And you could take chemistry at a community college. I'm sure you can find a community college that does this online, so you don't have to be there in person, because for most of you, your classes will, majority of them will be in person, whereas for me right now, in the pandemic, they're all online. So you can take this one online, these 4 in person, and summer session at UCR. I know every college is a little different. We have 2 sessions, session A, session B. We have others, but those are not as common for students to use. Session A is 5 weeks, session B is 5 weeks. Session B follows right after session A. You can take 2 classes each. That way you still get the 4 done, but you're not taking 4 at the exact same time at double the pace at 5 weeks. So that is sophomore year. Second year summer. And now the price for this, let's say chemistry is going to be $250 at community college. And UCR does, like I said, charge by the unit. I believe it's right here. Yes. So it's a little under $200 for every... what was I? Totally lost my train of thought. For every unit. So let's just do that. 29 times, and then we're taking 17 units at UCR. Actually, no, we're not. We're taking 16. All right, now that's 28,000 in total. Oh, Okay, I'm going to change the price now. And you're thinking, well, how do I go to the UCR classes or the summer classes at whatever college I go to? I need to live there, right? That's how I get there. And you would be absolutely right. Oh, goodness. Okay. You would be absolutely right. There are programs and opportunities for you to actually get free housing during the summer. At UCR, there's Summer Team Norm, which is basically where you help out with residential life staff for during orientation for incoming freshmen. And you get free housing from there, from what I'm told, and you're also able to take summer classes at the same time. So definitely keep that in mind. Look out for those opportunities. All right, so we're only at 28.5K, and we're getting pretty far into the degree. By now, we are actually almost seniors. We're like 3 units away from being a senior. Okay, so fall of your second year, you're going to be taking CS122A, which is more embedded systems, intermediate embedded systems. E100A, which is just basically introduction to like transistors and that type of analysis on a circuit. Engineering 180W, this satisfies your third English requirement in the Gen Ed. However, you could take English 1C, but you still have to take Engineering 180W because it's still a requirement, so might as well, instead of taking English 1C, just take Engineering 180W instead, and that covers a major requirement that you need and also the Gen Ed. So you need to be upper division for this, and by now you definitely are. Not all upper division classes require this, however, Engineering 180W does. So you have to have junior senior status. By now we're almost seniors, so we're definitely having upper division status. And then we're taking CS130. This is graphics. This one is more for me. I'm interested in that. You obviously don't have to. You can take any other technical elective if you want. But we're taking CS130 because this also broadens our horizons into picking our senior project. Our senior project is down here at CS179, but it comes with a letter. It could be N, it could be E, it could be F, and that letter correlates to a different type of senior project. It could be embedded systems, it could be an operating system, it could be compiler design, and you can only take senior design projects for which you have the prerequisites done. You can take a video game one, however, you need to have taken CS130. So if you want to take it and you haven't taken CS130 and you went to the video game one, you can't. So I'm trying to, again, expand our scope. That way, when we go to the senior project and we're trying to find which ones they offer, we can easily find one that fits in our schedule, if need be. Because, again, this is a speed run. This is about efficiency, not so much quality. All right, and we're also taking STAT 155. This is required for computer engineers and computer science. All right, it's 21 units. It's a little hard, yeah. And this one has a lab. This one has a lab. This one has projects. So I believe now they changed it to a discussion, but this one has a discussion. This one has a lab, but it's writing, and the labs don't take too long, so I'm not going to really count it as a formal engineering lab. I forgot to go over to the summer, though. This one does have a lab. This one's a discussion. This one is a lab. This one at UCR does have a lab, but I took this equivalent at UCI over cross-campus enrollment. Check that out, by the way, if you don't know too much about it. And didn't have a lab. So, and chemistry also does have a lab. So, arrange those in a way where you don't have too many labs at once. In spring, you have lab, 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 no lab. That's a discussion. All right. So now we're going into winter. Now, also important to keep in mind, some classes are only offered in certain quarters. CS122A, for the longest time, was only offered in fall until this upcoming year, 2020 or 2021 to 2022. It's offered in spring. I don't know whose decision that was, but that's the way it is now. There's an equivalent for this for computer engineers, and it's. I mean, as a computer engineer, you have to take this or EE128, which it's similar, but different. Okay, but if you're computer science, this is a technical elective for you, and you need to take way more technical electives than computer engineers. All right. So winter, EE111 and CS168 are required for computer engineers, and they're only offered in winter. So definitely make sure you have a slot for those in your winter schedule. They both have labs. CS161 and CS161L are offered usually in winter or spring. CS161 alone is offered in summer. But we want to try to make it concurrent here because that's how it normally is for computer engineers. So again, if you're computer science, you can ignore that because you don't need that. So for CS161, that's going to be, it has lab component, obviously. Now this is where you take your remainder of the general ed. Your social science C, this could fulfill, it has to be upper division first of all. We got to get the depth requirement. That's what it's called down here, upper division. Oh, they don't call it depth on here, but that's what most people call it. And if you can, try to also knock out that ethnicity here. If you weren't able to find a class that fits in your schedule that knocks out all three, being SSC, upper division, and ethnicity, you can try to shoot for the ethnicity here for Humvee. Engineering 1.1G is similar to Engineering 1G, whereas basically like talking about, okay, great, you're already halfway through your degree. Well, we're almost done. And what do you do now graduating? Okay. And this one's only offered in winter. That might change in the future, but right now it's only offered in winter. Okay. Great. And you have 1 lab, 2 lab, 3 lab, and then discussion probably for that. Oh, CS161 alone also comes with a discussion. Just keep in mind. All right, but that's okay. This is 19 units somehow. Still manageable. Still more manageable than 21 units. And then spring. Finally, we reached the last quarter. And now you are taking CS170, which is technical elective, Intro to AI. CS175, which is kind of like a marketing computer science class. Also technical elective. CS179, your senior project. Humvee, again, you would want to fulfill the ethnicity this time around if you didn't get to do it last time. And make sure it's upper division. And then Math 10A. This is, I guess you could think of it as like vector calculus now. And I put this at the end because it's not a prereq for anything. So instead of wasting a slot for a prereq down here in your freshman year, I just put it at the end because there's no reason not to. Of course, you haven't seen math in a while, but oh well. So now we are officially done, and you have graduated a UC with a computer engineering degree, and also a computer science degree applies very well to this, in just 2 years of being at the UC. And for most people, you would have just turned 20 years old, and you can now start grad school at 20, or have an entry-level job for any computer tech firm right at 20 years old. Maybe some of you are 19 by this time. Now let's change the price, because obviously a whole another year makes a difference, especially with like a lot of those classes at once. So in your second year, let's say now you're an RA, so you get 100% off room and board. Just the tuition and school fees alone, that's about $13,000, close to $14,000 a year. So adding this to our total, we end up at the grand total of this degree is, I'll do this, about more or less $42.3 thousand for a computer engineering degree. This, again, you could find other ways by maybe joining like ASUCR, the student body, associated student body. They might give discounts on tuition depending on your college, or pay you for you to pay your tuition. So just keep that in mind. There are other opportunities. I wouldn't. I haven't gone through those in particular. You can also get scholarships. But with this course load, good luck doing more than 2 extracurriculars. And that being said, yes, we are able to graduate in just 2 years, and that, friends, is a speed run through computer engineering at a UC. I'll see you guys next time. I might even do a version with dual enrollment and see if we can go even faster and cheaper. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.